Check out the links below to sign up for the next webinar, March 20th. Hey, I really like big, full units. I really love that stuff. And sometimes there's a few downsides to when you get a 10 by 20, a 10 by 30, a 10 by 40. That's really crammed from the ruler to the tutor, because you see at the beginning there's a lot of stuff. And you really don't know how much stuff it is until you start pulling it out, because you're like, oh, I see a chest, I see a nightstand, oh, I see two nightstands, oh, that's two bedroom sets, well, I see this, I see that. Then, once the high of getting the unit comes, starts to dissipate and you get into the actual labor, it could be a different story. This is one unit that I bought in Covington, of all places. I don't really go out there much because, that was kind of like the backyard of the Clampetts and the front yard and the side yard. And they had a lot of stuff out there pretty much sewn in. But for some reason, they weren't there at this auction really. There was no one there. There was 6 of us in a lot of rooms, and I was just looking at stuff, and I would see things, and some of the units were just so easy to assess because you could see everything in the unit, or you could kind of look all the way from the front to the back. Then the 4th unit, open it up, bam, stuff's falling out and all this. Then I just started getting excited. I'm just like, whoa, this is my type of deal. And I just started bidding on it because based on what they were bidding, I knew I was going to get a deal. Turned out to be a 10 by 40. I didn't know it was a 10 by 40. Didn't really care because I knew I was going to get it cheap. But normally you should assess the size of a unit. I bought the unit and I got it for $500. It was probably like 30 seconds of bidding because I went 100, someone went 2, I went 3, then bam, 500, and it was over. And I couldn't wait to get in there because there was so many things. And it was just, I could tell it was a big house because right there in the corner, there was like a stack of picture frames, really big, like 36 by 40 something, 36 by 50. These are huge pictures. When you see pictures that large, that's somebody that likes to decorate. That's a statement piece because they're not cheap. We're talking about just the Rudy Poot stuff's like $500, $600, $700. And I pulled out some pictures. They were so big I couldn't get them in my car. I was like, damn. So I kind of put them back in there and everything. And I immediately set out because this is a haul. This was a haul from the warehouse. Like, I'll just get the truck and get some guys and we'll just come back there and start going through the unit. So we start, about 3 hours later, I'm back because I had to go get the truck. I had to go find me some of my Latino brothers, and we head back. And the unit is getting gooder and gooder and pulling stuff out. And then we get to about the middle point, and I noticed that the unit, and my heart drops, right? Because the unit just does this, it just drops. Because all those boxes and stuff, and I can see there's like this huge space. And I'm like, oh hell, here we go. Then we move the boxes and I could see a car frame. I'm like, what the hell? And that's exactly what it was. It was a car frame. It was primed and it was ready to be painted. And the thing is, there were no seats in it. The wheels weren't on it. The engine wasn't in it. You know how I know? Because all that stuff was around it. It's like, come on, man. And it was a BMW 2002. I knew a little bit about the car, but this was before I really got into BMWs because that's a very iconic BMW. There are people who pay crazy money for these things. But I didn't know that at the time because it just looked like a big ass hassle to me because there was the frame, the engine was over there. Actually, there was 2 engines in there. And there was the wheels and there was seats. There was all kind of parts. And then there was a section where everything on that box had Alpina. Little did I know, that was a jackpot. Got the unit cleaned out and got the stuff that I knew what it was. And I started looking up the Alpina stuff and I was just like, whoa. I mean, that stuff was pretty pricey. It was a lot of coin, man, a lot of coin. And I took that stuff, went on eBay. Went like hotcakes. But I didn't really want to try to sell a frame on eBay. I should have. So I put an ad on Craigslist and I took the picture of it the best way that I could because I just rented the unit because I didn't want to really mess with it. And then This is such an old car that I knew that the title thing, because it didn't have a title, so I just put an ad on Craigslist. BMW 2002 parts and accessories, frame, no title, sold for parts only. And I get a lot of response because, like I said, this is an iconic car. A lot of people like this thing. And I get this little guy, and I just bring him out to the unit because at this point I've gotten all the furniture, everything that I wanted out, and the 2 engines were in there, the wheels, the seats. Essentially, the car was in there. There was actually enough parts for 2 cars. And guy comes in there, and he just stops like an Irish setter. He's just like, and he's like, and I was like I said, there's no title. He's like, fuck a title. How much do you want? I was like, excuse me? He's like, how much do you want for everything? I said, what do you mean? He said, everything. How much do you want? And I just said 12 grand, right? And I should have said more. He said, give me 2 days. He said, promise me you won't sell to anyone else. Give me 2 days. And I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And he's like, give me 2 days. So I was like, okay. And I still had the ad, and I still had people calling me and everything. And 2 days come and go, and I didn't hear from the guy. And I was like, oh well. Then the 3rd day, and I'm supposed to be heading out there to meet another guy, and I get a call. He's like, I got the money. And I said, dude, this is the 3rd day. You said 2 days, right? I gave you 2 days. I got another guy that's interested, right? I didn't really know if he was interested because he hadn't even seen this stuff. So we get in the unit, and he's like, whoa, holy moly. He's like, do you know what you got there? I said, yeah. He said, that's an Alpina engine. I said, okay. He said, that's 10 grand by itself. And I was like, holy moly. I almost got myself shanked because of ignorance. And I said, yeah, I'm playing it off right. I'm like, yeah, I knew that. And that's why I didn't put any prices, because I didn't put any prices on the ad. I was like, because I knew people might want this or that. And I was like, we could wheel a deal. And he said, hold on. And he went for his phone. He had to step outside because he couldn't get a signal in the unit. And he's like, I've got a lot of this stuff already, but he said, I want that engine. And, I really want that engine. So he went back to the engine, got some numbers off. He went back outside, and he said, look, it looks like it's in great shape, And I mean, he got on it. He was looking at stuff. Essentially, the engine had been completely rebuilt with original parts. And he's like, I can get you the money about, because there's no Wachovia, that's what he called it. Because it was, it's like, I can get you the money in about an hour. And I need to get a truck and everything else. And boom, it was gone, right? I was like, wow. So I get on the phone and say, yeah, the guy got the Alpina engine, but everything else is still there. If you want to spend 10 grand for that, and I heard a sigh. It's like, shit. He said, I'll take it. 10 grand? Yep, for everything. Okay. And it was just really, really funny because what I looked to be a hindrance was actually one of the best units that I ever got, because when you get true collectors, you get people that really have a passion for their hobby, they have stuff like this. And to the untrained eye, which these eyes were untrained, because I knew I knew a little bit to be dangerous, but I didn't really know what I was looking at, because understand, Google and online research back then is not what it is now. It really isn't. Like right now, you guys are so lucky. And even with that, you still have to know how to do the proper research. But either way, even if I had I was still cleared like 16 grand versus the damn near 30 that I cleared once everything was sold. And the guy, when I started looking up this stuff, and you have to like go to BMW and talk to guys, and I was like, out in there. And then everyone I talked to after the fact, because if I ever came across this stuff again, I wanted to be there. They was like, you had an Alpina engine? Those things are like rare as hell. Really, really rare. And the guy who owned the stuff was a German. So it made sense that he would knew how to get the stuff since he was from the motherland. He was from the birthplace of BMW. And apparently he was an executive. He moved to Covington, all places. And he brought all this stuff from Germany to Georgia. and the furniture, and there was a Strunk in there, and there was Steins in there. There was all kinds of stuff, but you know, this is just to let you know that sometimes when it looks really ashy, it's classy. All right, this is Glendon. We're making money with storage unit auctions. Check out the links below to sign up for the next webinar, March 20th.